Great day, everyone, and welcome to a new day of learning. I am Sir Patrick, and I will be your teacher in mapping. Come and join me as we learn new things and great things about Health 9. And now, we are here in the classroom where learning happens. And for today, we will be joining by one of my friends. Do you like to meet my friend? Okay, let's all welcome my friend Ate Dottie.
Good day, everyone, and good day, sir. I am Dotilin, but you may call me Ate Dottie for short.
How are you, Ate Dottie?
I am great. How about you?
I'm doing great as well. And now, we will be having our prayer to be led by Ate Dottie. So may I request everyone to please close your eyes, bow your head, and feel the presence of the Lord.
Lord, help us to see every person as made in your image and likeness. May we always remember that each person's name is holy and special. Help us to see you in every person's eyes, especially in the eyes of those who suffer because of mean words. Help us to remember that when we hurt another, with our words or actions, we are hurting you, Lord. You love every person with all your heart. May we always use our voice to show your love and your kindness. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Ate Dottie, for leading our prayer. So to start with, let's have our most essential learning competencies. So the first one is differentiate intentional injuries from unintentional injuries. Next, we have describes the types of intentional injuries. Analyzes the risk factors related to intentional injuries. Identifies protective factors related to intentional injuries, and demonstrate ways to prevent and control intentional injuries. And for our lesson objectives, Ate Dottie, kindly give us our lesson objectives for today.
And our learning objectives are: first, discuss bullying. Second, analyze situations about classifications of bullying. Third, state personal opinions. And fourth, perform differentiated activities about classifications of bullying.
Thank you very much, Ate Dottie. And before we start our lesson for today, we will be having a game. Do you love games, Ate Dottie?
Yes, of course!
Great! So the title of our game is Human Bingo. Do you know this game, Ate Dottie?
No!
Okay, so do you know what bingo is?
Yes!
Okay, nice. So I will be explaining the mechanics of this game. So this human bingo game is like the traditional bingo game that we used to play in our households. And for our learners, all you have to do is to have a copy of this bingo template. So you can download this in the net, or you can simply draw this in a piece of bond paper for you to do this activity. In this human bingo game, instead of flashing different numbers that corresponds to the letters B-I-N-G-O or the bingo, we will be flashing different events or scenarios that you might have experienced in your lives. So all you have to do is to mark those events that corresponds to your experiences. So for example, in letter B, we will be flashing a situation that you might have experienced. So all you have to do is mark it with the letter X, or you can put a shade on the corresponding letter. It's either B-I-N-G-O. And in able for you to win, all you have to do is to complete different patterns. So we have 3 patterns, and each pattern has a corresponding points. So the first pattern is the so-called the border pattern. If you have completed this border pattern, you will receive 50 points. Okay, so the next pattern is the X pattern. So we have here, like our traditional bingo template, we have here the pre-mark. So the next pattern is the X pattern. So upon completing this X pattern, you will be receiving 30 points. And the last pattern, we have here the straight line pattern. So take note, it could be diagonal, horizontal, or in vertical lines. So it depends upon your answers or experiences. So upon marking or accomplishing this pattern, you will be receiving 10 points. Okay, are you ready? So Ate Dottie will help me to show you the different events and scenarios in our lives we might have experienced. And at the end of the game, we will be counting or we will be summarizing the points that you have gathered. And at the end of our lesson, we will be adding all your scores. Are you ready? Let's begin! So for letter B, called ugly. Have you experienced being called ugly by someone else?
For the letter I, spread rumors.
Next, for letter G, using social medias. Are you fond of using different social medias like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and so on and so forth?
And for the letter O, we have make fun of others.
And so upon accomplishing this line, you already can gain 10 points. But if you want to continue, there's more. The next one is, I know you know this, playing Mobile Legends.
And for letter I again, trash talking.
So for letter G, making mean gestures. So this is by using your body parts in order to annoy someone else.
And for the letter O, being teased.
For letter I, hit someone. Did you already hit someone?
Next, for letter N, posted memes.
Memes are like different kinds of pictures that you posted online to hurt others' feelings. For letter G, being threatened. Do you feel that you are being threatened by someone else?
For letter B, break other things.
For letter N, embarrass someone. Have you embarrassed someone else?
For letter O, pushed someone.
For letter B, making fun of others' pictures. Are you fond of doing this? If so, mark X or shade your box.
Letter I, name called someone.
So name calling is calling other persons in different names which is not their names. It could be a tag name or a call name or whatever names that you use to call them by the use of their features. For letter G, reported someone in the guidance office. Have you experienced reporting someone else to the guidance office because you witnessed a crime or an incident that happened in your school to help someone else?
And for letter O, we have posted gossips online.
Okay, for letter B, telling others not to be friends with. You're telling someone else not to be friends with this person.
For letter N, we have brought to the hospital because of injury.
For letter O, taking someone's things. So you're taking someone's things that which is not your own.
We have brought in guidance office.
Next, for letter N, the victim of name calling. So for the first one, you are the one who are doing the name calling, but now you are the victim of name calling.
And for letter J, we have parents are called in the school.
So it could be positive or negative. It could be, depends on the situation, why your parents are being called in the school. Let's see, what pattern did you accomplish? Okay, if you completed the patterns, you will be earning different points depending on what pattern you have accomplished. It could be the border pattern, the line pattern, or the X pattern. Congratulations for those who have earned points by accomplishing different patterns in our human bingo game. So now we are back in our classroom. So Ate Dottie, what do you think is the main idea of the given events and situations in our human bingo card?
I think the main idea of the given events and situations in the game is all about hurting someone, feelings, emotions intentionally.
Thank you so much, Ate Dottie. And now, let us see what are the domains of life which affect bullying cases. So the first one is personal. We have family. We also have our peer and friends. We also have our school and the community. So as what you can see, this is also included in our lesson in our previous topic, which is the risk and protective factors against drug abuse. Since the Department of Education is also aiming to strengthen disaster risk and reduction management, we are mandated with a DepEd Order number 37 series of 2015, wherein we are applying the pillar number 3, wherein we have the DRRR in education to promote and to strengthen safety in our school. That's why we can integrate DRRM in our topic. This topic is also integrated in edukasyon sa pagpapakatao, wherein they discuss pambubulas, or in our lesson, bullying, wherein they are discussing the different classifications or types of bullying that the youngs or the teenagers are doing nowadays. Okay, Ate Dottie, how will you define bullying?
Bullying is an unwanted, aggressive behavior. The behavior is repeated or can be repeated over time. Both kids who are bullied and who bully others may have serious, lasting problems.
Thank you so much, Ate Dottie. We have here the word aggressive, which means you are exerting too much power in order to hurt someone else physically or their feelings. But how can you consider it as bullying?
The behavior must be aggressive and include the following: an imbalance of power. Kids who bully use their powers such as physical strength, access to embarrassing information, or popularity to control and harms others.
That's right, Ate Dottie. So you have mentioned the exertion of power to hurt someone else's feelings. And it could be their physical attributes.
Repetition. Bullying behavior happen more than once or have the potential to happen more than once.
Okay, you have mentioned the word repetition, which means more than once. So, it is a difference between intentional and unintentional injuries, because unintentional injuries happens mostly or more than once. Unlike unintentional injuries, for example, you hit someone else accidentally, it can be classified as unintentional injuries. So, Ate Dottie, what do you think are the classifications of bullying?
The classifications of bullying are verbal bullying, social bullying, physical bullying, and cyberbullying.
Thank you so much, Ate Dottie. So the first one is, how will you identify verbal bullying?
Verbal bullying is saying or writing mean and nasty things.
Okay, from the word itself, verbal, wherein through language, through hate words, or different comments. So what are the examples of verbal bullying?
These are the example of verbal bullying: teasing, name calling, making inappropriate sexual comments, taunting, and threatening to cause harm.
You have mentioned teasing, wherein in Tagalog it is called panunukso, wherein you are trying to annoy someone else with your words. You also have the name calling. You are fond of calling someone others or some people's or classmate names which is not their names. For example, my name is Patrick and you are associating different names with my name. It could be an animal or whatsoever. Okay, so you are also making inappropriate sexual comments, which is the malicious ones towards another person. Also in taunting, wherein you are trying to annoy your classmates and you're threatening to cause harm towards someone else. So those are examples of verbal bullying. And now, Ate Dottie, please join me in our school canteen where a lot of things happen in our school canteen and also a lot of bullying cases happen in our school canteen. Dottie, how will you recognize social bullying?
Social bullying, sometimes referred to as relational bullying, hurting someone's reputation or relationships.
Okay, so we're talking about the relationship of one person towards another person. So what are the examples of social bullying?
The examples of social bullying are telling other children not to be friends with someone, spreading rumors about someone, and embarrassing someone in public.
Okay, so that is like this image. So you are somehow spreading some rumors or some gossips about a particular person so that other person will stay away from you or from other person. And for the next one, Ate Dottie, please join me and let's have a walk in our school corridor where a lot of incidents are being reported. Ate Dottie, how will you determine physical bullying?
Physical bullying, hurting a person's body or destroying his or her possessions.
Okay, from the word itself, physical, using your brute force to hurt someone else. So as what you can see in the image, you can see two students who are hurting another student by the use of their fist. So what are the examples of physical bullying?
The examples of physical bullying are hitting, kicking, pinching, spitting, tripping or pushing, taking or breaking someone's things, and making mean or rude hand gestures.
And in it's clear in these images the examples of different physical bullying that happened inside the school that you might have experienced or you have done to someone else. Okay, let's move on. Ate Dottie, welcome to our computer laboratory. So, how will you identify cyberbullying?
Cyberbullying is verbal and social bullying done through use of technology and electronic means.
Thank you so much, Ate Dottie. So what are the examples of cyberbullying?
The examples of cyberbullying are using social media such as Facebook or Twitter, using mobile devices, and using electronic mails.
Okay, so we have here the examples of the different platforms that are being used in order to conduct or to do the cyberbullying. So I know that you are all using different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or whatever social media applications in your mobile phones. Thank you so much, Ate Dottie, for giving some insights and inputs about our topic for today. And to test your learning about this lesson, we will be conducting or we will be having our learning task 1. And upon completing this learning task 1, you will be receiving additional 50 points. So all you have to do is to list 3 classifications of bullying. So from the 4 classifications of bullying that we have discussed a while ago, so for those are, we have the verbal, social, physical, and cyberbullying. All you have to do is to choose only 3 from those 4. And then you're going to list down the 3, and then you're going to list down also the 3 preventive and protective factors from those 3 classifications of bullying. And you're going to explain how these classifications of bullying affects one's life. For example, you chose verbal bullying. So all you have to do is to write down the verbal bullying in a piece of paper, and then you're going to write down the preventive and protective factors about the verbal bullying. How are you going to protect yourselves against verbal bullying, or how are you going to protect other persons against verbal bullying? And then at the same time, you're going to identify or explain how verbal bullying affects persons' lives. Upon completing this learning task number 1, you will be receiving additional 50 points. And it will be added to your total score in our human bingo game. So if you have 50 points in our human bingo game plus 50 points in learning task 1, you will be receiving a total of 100 points. And now, let us move on to our learning task 2. Okay, so all you have to do is to write an essay about how teenagers prevent or avoid bullying, or you as a teenager, how are you going to avoid or prevent bullying? You're going to write your activity in a sheet of paper, but you must limit your essay into 50 to 100 words only. Ate Dottie, kindly read the rubric for this activity, which is the essay.
Criteria. First, focus and details. For 5 points, the material includes all required elements as well as additional information. Word choice. For 5 points also, the material is exceptional in the choice of words. And for organization of ideas, the ideas are exceptionally organized. And sentence structure or the grammar and spelling, there are no grammatical or mechanical errors in the material.
Thank you very much, Ate Dottie. So let's go back to our classroom, Ate Dottie. So why do you think it is important to study bullying and its effects to one's life?
For me, it is important to study bullying because we will learn how to protect ourselves, learn to care for others, stay away from danger or harm, and love one another.
That's awesome, Ate Dottie. Thank you very much. And for all of us, we can help stop bullying right now. All we have to do is to speak up and help stop bullying right now. So you can use your voice and do actions in order to help someone else or in order to help yourselves in conquering bullying. Can I count on you? Great! And now, we are down to the last part of our lesson for today. Ate Dottie, kindly join me as we give them the learning task number 3. So all you have to do is to choose one from the classifications of bullying. What are those? We have verbal bullying, social bullying, physical bullying, or cyber bullying. You're going to choose only one from those 4. And then you're going to choose your preferred performance from the following. So the first one, if you are artistic, you can do this poster making. So in 1A illustration board, create a poster about your chosen classification of bullying showing its risk and protective factor. Ate Dottie, kindly give us the rubric for poster making.
The criteria are creativity, originality and uniqueness, content, it must be connected in the lesson, and neatness of illustration, and for the total of 20 points.
And for the next one, if you're fond of writing, you can do this poem making. So in a paper, create a poem about your chosen classification of bullying showing its risk and protective factors. Ate Dottie, kindly give us the rubric for poem making.
The criteria are focus and details, word choice, organization of ideas, and sentence structure for the total of 20 points.
And for the last one, if you love music, you can do jingle making. So make a jingle about your chosen classification of bullying showing its risk and protective factors. So you can record your song and submit your audio or video to your teacher's messenger. So Ate Dottie, kindly give us a rubric for jingle making.
The criteria are lyric, melody, presentation, and overall effectiveness for the total of 20 points.
Thank you very much, Ate Dottie. And before we sum up all your earned points from our previous activities and tasks, please answer this reflection. So reflect on your previous performance, which is the learning task number 3. By answering number 1, what do you think are your strengths and weaknesses in this task? And number 2, how will you improve your weakness for your next lesson? If you have successfully submitted this learning task 3, you will be receiving additional 100 points. So if you have gathered 50 points from our human bingo game, another 50 points for our learning task 1, another 50 points for our learning task 2, and then another 100 points for this learning task 3 for a total of 250 points. We will be summarizing your points and then you will be receiving a reward after summarizing your earned points. And now, let us sum up all your earned points from our human bingo game plus our learning tasks 1, 2, and 3. And then upon computing all your earned points, you will be receiving this anti-bullying badge, which has a corresponding points in each badge. If you earned 200 points and below, you will be receiving the Royal Blue badge. And if you earn 210 points, you will be earning this Emerald Badge. And if you earn 230 points, you will be receiving this Red Badge. And of course, if you have completed or accomplished all our tasks, you will be earning this golden yellow badge. So are you ready to be an anti-bullying ambassador? Great! Thank you very much for joining us in our lesson for today. And thank you, Ate Dottie, for joining us in this session.
Thank you everyone, and thank you sir for having me. Learning with you is really fun. I hope you've learned a lot today.
Take care, everyone. God bless.
Once again, I'm your Ate Dottie, signing off. Goodbye!
Goodbye.